Now, helmets. I know they're normally the province of Wayne, my friend, but this one's slightly different. We're at the Transport Research Laboratory because they've been doing some work on helmets. We're all used to 6658, the British standard, but there's going to be some changes regarding chin guards and projections on the side of the helmet. And Brian Chin here is the man who knows all about it. That's true, isn't it, Brian?
Yes, that's true.
What actually have you been doing? First off, where did the problem start? Is it that our standard was different to the continental standard?
Well, if I can go back a little bit before that and say that we've been researching for a number of years with Southern General Hospital in Glasgow to establish the mechanism of brain injuries. And one of the main features of brain injuries is that they occur from rapid rotation of the head when the rider's head strikes the ground or the car. And a test to ensure that this is kept to the minimum was incorporated into British standards, but we've now worked on this test, and you'll now find that it will be in the new standard that will be adopted by Europe. And the test is one where we measure the friction of the surface to ensure that the rotation is kept to a minimum when you strike the road, and also to test the projections, such as these, which are used to hold on the visor, to make sure that if these get struck, then that they come off fairly easily, and that you don't suddenly impart a rapid motion into the rider's head, which will cause this rapid rotation, which we know causes serious and fatal brain injuries.
Yeah, because this is nothing to do with sort of neck injuries. It actually spins the skull and the brain detaches, doesn't it?
It does actually spin the skull, and you get damage to the brain in this way as the brain rotates rapidly inside and stretches, and you get damage to the system, which can cause very serious injuries and in some cases fatal injuries.
Yeah, sounds horrendous. And what about the chin bar side of things?
Well, the chin bar is also very important in that up until recently only the British standard introduced a test for this. But we have taken that principle and we now have done a lot of research to ensure that the chin guard of the helmet will be tested in the new standard, and it will be tested in a way that accidents happen, such that the helmet will be dropped onto the chin guard and the forces inside the helmet will be measured, and if they rise too high, the helmet will fail.
And that doesn't happen now? Or it does on British standards, but not on continental standards?
It happens in a different way on British standard, but it doesn't happen anywhere else. So what we've done is made sure that when Europe adopts a new standard, that you get a test for the chin guard of a full-faced helmet, because a lot of accidents are caused, in a lot of accidents, the rider's chin guard hits the car, and we know that it
deforms.
It deforms, and if it's not properly tested, it could actually make things worse for the rider.
Yeah. And so this is really being a plus point, not only sort of marketing-wise, that we'll now be able to buy sort of all helmets, they'll all be to the same standard. It'll stop this confusion that there has been. So we can't use that, it's not BS marked and all the rest of it.
Well, we hope that it'll stop the confusion, and but we know that it will bring about an improvement in helmet standards for all of Europe.
And when are we going to see this? Because this has taken a long time, it's taken a lot of work, hasn't it? But when are we actually going to see it happen?
Well, the standard is at the moment being ratified in New York, and we hope eventually to see helmets in the shops to the new standard, say within a year, approximately.
Good news. Here we are. Good news for bikers.